Welcome to Zama Victor English and Literature Academy. Today I'm going to lecture you on the topic linguistics. Introduction to linguistics. What is linguistics all about? I want to expose my learners the meaning of introduction to what linguistics, the meaning of linguistics. Before I start, I want you to look at the charts here for 5 minutes. These are a course called linguistics. It's one of the courses we will study in university. Grammarians or any linguist will study. This course, what is linguistics? Linguistics is a branch. Linguistics is the study of languages in general. The study of human languages in general. It is a scientific study of human language in general. Linguistics, a person who studies linguistics is called a linguist. Linguistics is the study of what? Language in general. It studies all aspects of human language, from both their formation, both their theories, every human language. That is what we do in linguistics. Linguistics is the scientific study of human language in all ramifications. In linguistics, we have branches of linguistics. We have pure linguistics, which can be classified as applied linguistics, statistics, social linguistics, neurolinguistics. We have what we call psycholinguistics, anthrolinguistics. All these things are branches of linguistics. We also have what's called stylistics. All these are linguistics. In linguistics, we have levels of linguistics which are shown in the board here. These are levels of linguistics which are: number 1 is syntax, number 2 is morphology, number 4 is phonetics, number 5 is phonology, then semantics and stylistics. These are levels of linguistics. Linguistics, in fact, when you talk about levels of linguistics, it means the procedure in which linguistics started. These are the levels where linguistics started. One is syntax. Syntax simply means the linear arrangement of words in a sentence. It means the linear arrangement of words such as clauses, phrases, and in a sentence, how these sentences are being formed, linearly arranged, is called syntax. Syntax deal with voice formation, sentence, deal with what? Linear arrangement of words, the arrangement of words, clauses, phrases in a sentence to achieve a meaningful sentence. This is what we do in syntax. Whereas in morphology study the internal structure of a word, how word is being formed. In morphology, we study is the level of linguistics that study word formation, internal structure of words, how words is being formed. That is what we do in morphology. Whereas phonetics, this studies how human speech sounds is physically transmitted, received, and articulated. That is what we study in what? Phonetics. In fact, it's the study of all human speech sounds in general. In all ramifications, human speech sounds are studied in what? In phonetics. Whereas pragmatics, this is a branch of level of linguistics that study the meaning. Study the meaning of the words in use of meaning in the context of usage. Where we look at it, we look into the context of words. What meaning actually means in the context. That is what will be in pragmatics. The study of meaning in the context, in relationship with the context. That is what we study in pragmatics. Whereas statistics, this is the branch of linguistics that studies style, the author's use of words. It studies how author achieve his usage of words. Not only that, it studies all the idiosyncrasies of words, while the choice of words used by author. The technique or all those, the choice. The study choice. The statistics has no consensus definition, but here, in a nutshell, in a layman's understanding, it's a branch of linguistics that study the author usage of words in the context of literature. Or we have methods of statistics, we have general statistics, we have what we call general statistics, and we also have literary statistics. That all of them are statistics. We study the choice of usage of words, how authors achieve all style of author usage. This is what we do in statistics. Whereas in semantics, the study of meaning. When we talk about meaning, what meaning ought you? Here we study synonyms, antonyms, collocations. All these things are studied in semantics. Many of them are studied. This is what is study of meaning. What is the meaning in the context? This is what is studied in semantics. The branch of it is study meaning. How can we achieve meaning? How can we achieve by a relation in the context? This is what we use relation in the words. This is what is studied in semantics. How can we? Then in phonology, It is a level of linguistics that study a sound pattern in a particular language, a sound pattern in a language, but a particular language. Here, phonology is the study of speech sound in relation to a particular language, not human language in general, but a particular language. It can be in Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, or it can be in Italian language, it can be in French, Spanish language. When you are studying phonology, you are studying a sound acting to a particular language, a sound in relation to a particular language. That is what we do in phonology. In oral, we can say that linguistics is the study of speech sound. It's a study of linguistics is a study of human speech and language, the study of language in general. That is what study with. And linguistics started by a man called it's a study of language. Linguistics is a study of human language in general. It deals all aspects of human language, both their theories in anything that happens to human language. Modern linguistics began with a man called Fernandez de Saussure. Fernandez de Saussure is the father of modern linguistics. He began linguistics as he is the father of the modern linguistics. Although many people have written, but Fernandez de Saussure can be considered as the father of the modern linguistics. When he died, the man is Fernandez de Saussure did not write any book, but when he died, most of his scholars, most of his students took their notes and published a book called a book called Linguistics Across All the Nations. This is where this thing is being found. Areas of the linguistics is what is called pragmatic and syntagmatic. Pragmatic and syntagmatic, what is called the signifier and the signified. There's also study area called this can be said that his contribution to the linguistics is in this area. One is the pragmatic and syntagmatic, diachronic and synchronic. Diachronic and synchronic is the areas in which this man expanded. Not only that, syntagmatic and pragmatic is also studied in the signifier and the signified. These are the areas where the Saussure have explored. Also, in fact, the Saussure can be said to a man who left a major impact in the theory of modern linguistics by the many contemporary linguistics. These areas also, the Saussure give birth to what is called structuralism. Structuralism in linguistics started with the Saussure. If that a language has its own structure, no language can be used in a structure. This is what we mean in linguistics. Linguistics study encompasses many areas. We have social linguistics, we have applied linguistics, we have neurolinguistics, we have psycholinguistics. These linguistics are branches of linguistics. We also have and all these things are areas in linguistics we take. Linguistics study any aspect of human language in general. That is why we say that linguistics study human language in general. I can say again, Fernandez de Saussure is the father of modern linguistics. In fact, his contribution in linguistics stand the landmark of linguistics. He did not write any book, but when he died, most of his works were chosen by his scholars. As I say, these are the levels of linguistics which are being shown. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for you to see more emphasis on linguistics. Other things I need to explain. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I love you all. Thank you.